Coming up, highlights from Ipswich City Council's July committee meetings, including action to encourage investment in more short-term accommodation. Hear why health services in Ipswich need to grow, as Westmoreton Health says triple ramping puts our community at a health disadvantage. And Council supports Ipswich Show Society's request for Friday, May 17, 2024 as the show day public holiday. It's Thursday, July 13, 2023. And I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting, trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. In this episode, a couple of highlights from the July round of Ipswich City Council committee meetings. First up, the Economic and Industry Development Committee heard a presentation from Westmoreton Health Board Chairman Michael Willis. He stressed the importance of why the local health service needs to grow and talked about what he called triple ramping. Here's part of what he told councillors.
We have 1 in 3 of our community have to go outside this region for their public healthcare services. 1 in 3, mostly to places like the PA Hospital or to Children's Health Queensland. That probably won't stop. But we need more of that care to be delivered locally. As our population grows, we need to grow not just in terms of service capacity, but service competency, clinical skills capabilities, and move fully towards a tertiary hospital. The reason I say that is people in our community, when they get sick and need urgent care, we talk about hospital ramping. Our community sits on 3 ramps. They sit on a ramp in our hospital now, and when they have to go to the PA for care, they sit on a ramp that we call the Ipswich Motorway. And when they get to the PA, they sit on a ramp again. So triple ramping for our community puts our community at a health disadvantage. It's not equitable, and we need better equity and support. In terms of equity, that adds cost to our community. Our community has a significant number of people with economic and social disadvantage. They cannot afford the car parking at PA Hospital or Children's Hospital. A recent incident occurred where one of our community had to come back to care for a single mum, had to come back and care for her family, had to spend $150 on cab fares. She just didn't have it to get back from the PA to look after her family. The service she needed is now provided locally, and we need to multiply that return locally over so many more of our areas. So I encourage you, if you can, and Mayor, I'm looking at you now, you know I've said this before, our region desperately needs an advocate. Some of our peers in other places have strong advocates like Advanced Cairns, the Toowoomba and Surat Basin Enterprise Organisation and Townsville Enterprise. We would love to work with you to advocate for services and economic support for our community, in our case particularly in the health sector.
That's Mike Willis, Chair of the Board of Westmoreton Health, speaking at Ipswich City Council on July 13. In the same committee meeting, he also updated councillors on the current use of the former council buildings in South Street.
We've got the Hayden Centre, which is now our corporate office and provides a range of other administrative functions there. The old library is now being used by our hospital foundation. I'm delighted to say, the reinvigorated hospital foundation, and we're using that for a number of training opportunities. The old library is amazingly well suited to being a great training facility. The longer term plan is still in negotiation with the department. I mentioned earlier that capital planning is not within our direct remit, so we are working with the department, and if I could give you some assurance, we are working hard to make sure we get the best use of that facility. It's a real opportunity for us to have that site so close to our CBD, and we want to get it working for this community. So you know, we've got our communities back on that, but we've got to convince the department.
The Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee voted in favour of a notice of motion from Mayor Harding to improve short-term accommodation.
That this will be now a notice of motion of hotel and short-term accommodation action plan, and that a hotel and short-term accommodation non-residential action plan is prepared and presented to Council in November 2023. And the action plan will focus on current and future demand for short-term accommodation, in brackets non-residential. Ipswich's current short-term accommodation options accommodation types and locations to best meet demand, and planning levers and incentives that can be used to drive construction of new short-term accommodation in Ipswich.
The Mayor went on to detail why the need for more short-term accommodation.
The need to address the significant undersupply of short-term accommodation in Ipswich has been raised by this council and our community over some time. I think this is a piece of work that is well overdue, and I'm keen to see it completed sooner rather than later, which is why I've brought it forward as this notice of motion. Council has taken some small steps towards addressing this issue with discounted development application fees for hotels, our Shop Top Living initiative and high-quality residential developments. This action plan is the next logical step in ensuring Council is encouraging the development of hotel and short-term accommodation in our city and actively exploring the possibility of converting existing buildings into short-term accommodation. Based on the positive actions of other South East Queensland councils, I strongly believe the answer lies with the development industry, and therefore Council needs to position itself even more to put incentives in place and pull the relevant planning levers to bring forward this construction.
Councillor Paul Tully supported the move.
I think this is an important motion before the committee and Council in 2 weeks' time. The short-term accommodation is or any sort of accommodation around Australia at the moment is regarded, I think, across the community as of being absolutely critical importance, and certainly the federal and the state governments are in a position probably to give greater effect to opportunities in our communities right throughout the state, but particularly in South East Queensland, and particularly in our area, the growth area of Queensland in South East Queensland. I think this is a good initiative so that we're on the front foot. There's very few communities in Australia where this is not currently an issue, and if we are able to provide some input and some decision making about how we as a local government can assist short-term accommodation opportunities, I think that will be great for our community.
And finally, a council committee has supported a recommendation from the Ipswich Show Society to make an application to the Office of Industrial Relations for the Ipswich Show public holiday in 2024. Mark this Ipswich-only holiday in your calendar now. It's Friday, May 17, 2024. Don't forget to look for handy links in the show notes, including links to council meeting agendas and minutes, and where you can watch live or on demand council meetings on YouTube. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au. Follow and stream this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today on smart speakers. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thank you for listening.